1 year, 25-day check-in with no nicotine. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing why you should move low key when it comes to mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome, like, comment, subscribe, show some support. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome, good to see you again. Like, comment, subscribe, show some support. And getting right into the video, why should one, be low-key when it comes to mentally? Well, when it comes to moving around in a room full of, let's say, snakes, or in a room full of, whatever you want to call it, vultures, one needs to learn how to be mentally low-key, and that is if someone's trying to mentally get into your state of being, someone's mentally trying to see where your state of mind is mentally, someone's trying to maybe influence your mental state of being, or in other words, someone's trying to get in your head. In any of these circumstances, stay as low-key as possible, and this will allow for you to observe that other person's behavior and mentally see through and be able to learn something from that other's behavior, and be able to mentally take note and use it as a lesson to mentally move forward, and to mentally know that this is a way that other people may mentally interact with you based upon, let's say, trying to, like I said, have an effect on your mental state of being. But that's not the only thing that you should do. Is not just keep to yourself, but stay low-key and not, even lead on that this person is having a way, but just being aware of the fact that, okay, someone's trying to get into my head mentally, someone is aiming their, let's say, their mental, swords, or their mental, let's say, capacity at me. Okay, well, I see that, and I'm able to actually understand, and I'm not even going to let on that this person is doing this to me, or that I know that this person is doing this to me. Therefore, you'll always have the upper hand mentally, and know where things are coming from, why things are happening, and understanding what the true root of things and why things are actually happening, what are the possible outcomes of what can happen. But stay low-key and confined in those who you can trust when it comes to mentally, and to where these people will reciprocate you with mental forms that are strong, and mental structure and mental stability that is in line with where your state of mind state should be. So you should be and you can let people, and the more that you are low-key when it comes to mentally, and I mean like the way that you move when it comes to mentally, you'll be able to I just forgot my point, but it'll come back to me. The more that you are, like I said, right, someone, I said already confined in the one that is going to support you, those that you can trust when it comes to mentally. And mentally, you'll be able to, like I said, with being low-key comes the ability to kind of blend in and kind of be thinking, and others not being able to, let's say, know what you're thinking, because you could always be thinking something, and people are not going to be able to pick up on that because you're just very low-key about it, and you're very just like, okay, I see that for what it is. Mentally, I'm going to take note. I'm not going to express it so other people know that that's what I'm thinking, or I'm not going to structure my thoughts or my sentences in the way so that people can't understand and decode that for me. You'll start to learn better ways of how to move, and how to move in the most clairvoyant ways when it comes to mentally. So you'll be able to not just, be a mouthpiece, and through that other people are able to decode you and be able to piece you apart when it comes to just the things you say, or the way that you think. When that time does come for you to open your you know, thoughts, to get your thoughts to someone else, which I mean just communicate to someone else in that way, that you have to be, let's say, direct, or you have to be very harsh, or let's say very just honest, and someone's not expecting that, it's gonna be, for them, it's gonna be like, whoa, like a sword. They're gonna be like, whoa, this person's like coming at me so hard. I never thought that this person would come at me in this way. And that, not that that needs to happen in order to give you an advantage, or in order to whatnot, or whatever, but the fact that you always know that you have the capability to move around mentally when it comes to staying protected mentally, and not being, let's say, confused or influenced by those who might use tactics to so-called get in your head, or so-called play mind games, or do anything that individuals might partake in when trying to affect someone when it comes to mentally. So this is also ways of staying protected when it comes to mentally. By the way, I'm not like a supporter or anything of NASA. I just like this circle here, and I like the artwork on this sweatshirt, and that is why I'm wearing it. Just want that to be known. I think that there's a lot of controversy when it comes to the corporation of NASA. Of course, they're a government body, and so anything like that, we have to not just listen to what we're told or go with what they tell us. We have to kind of look at things a little bit deeper, and not only just a little bit deeper, but deeper than surface level. So moving on, like I said, mentally, you'll have that ability to, if you move low-key enough, to other people don't even know that you have this ability to mentally direct, to mentally break down, to mentally assimilate, to mentally simulate, and be able to run through scenarios in your mind mentally, and run through how something happened in a scenario, and be able to literally dissect each part of, let's say, and it could be anything, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, but you are mentally able to perceive that experience in a way where, regardless of what's happening, regardless of what, let's say, light or information that someone is lending out towards a scenario, you're able to mentally not have influence, but be aware of the other's actions and the situation and scenario, and be able to detect like where possibly someone might not be telling the truth, just based off how you can communicate. If that person's not communicating clearly with you, like I've said on this channel, there's most likely, I've said before, but I don't know what video, anyways, if someone's not communicating clearly for you or directly enough for you, and there's a miscommunication, that's one way to tell that somewhere in that situation, either someone is holding on to an energy and is not letting go of it, and or maybe they're lying, or that there are things that are occurring in the whole situation that are not necessarily being talked about, or being accepted, or people are not wanting to say that yes, this happened, or anything when it comes to they're basically the unseen, because when it comes to that, you are so strong in that mental realm that you're able to just tap in and be like, okay, mentally, I'm low-key peeping like everything that's going on around me, no matter what. And this comes into situational awareness as well. It's like, if someone's trying to do something to you, you're gonna know automatically, just based off of having that strong mentality and being able to see like, I'm mentally strong enough, I mentally can peep out the fact that you're acting odd, you're acting a little bit funny, the situation seems like something's going on here, and that's just based off of being able to detect that when it comes to mentally, and being able to be aware of that when it comes to mentally. And yeah, you're not just supposed to stay low-key when it comes to mentally. It's just a phrase, so you can be high-key, you can be low-key, you can be what one would consider, you know, medium key or in the middle, whatever you want to say. But the point is being able to use these energies in your benefit. So in today's video, rather tonight's video, we are talking about, or you know, this morning, because it is August 1st, about 2:28, almost 2:30 in the morning when I'm making this video, and it'll be posted in about, I'd say 10-20 minutes, depending on how long I take on the rest of this. Most likely gonna shoot for a little bit longer, but like I said, it's gonna be like not that it's going to be, but it is a great time of the morning to create this video. And so, like I said, being able to use it in your benefit and use it in your favor. Alrighty, now let's talk about physically staying low-key. So physically, you can stay low-key and be low-key when it comes to physically. And how is this going to benefit you is that you're not going to always have projections from other people onto your walking of life, onto the things that you do physically, the actions that you have in your life, or anything that has to do with you when it comes to physically. The more that you are low-key, and you can be high-key when it comes to physically and low-key at the same time, by only expressing certain things or only being in certain situations or certain scenarios that are going to be aware by the public, are going to be aware of associates or let's say acquaintances. Let's say that you are able to be aware of the balance that's needed when it comes to staying low-key when it comes to physically. It's not good for everyone to always see where's this person in their life, where's this person in their journey when it comes to physically, what does this person do all the time. No, you shouldn't necessarily have that broadcasted all the time, but what you can do is be, let's say, on a platform like YouTube, any other social media platform or entertainment platform, and you can, let's say, only show what you are, you know, in the right space to show for when it comes to physically. And you'll always stay physically protected, because if you're moving low-key and you're not being, you know, let's say oversharing or overbearing and overgiving when it comes to that physical state, you'll be able to, like I said, be way more clairvoyant, have way more less projections from people that were in your past, people that are judging you in the present, people that don't understand the path that you're on. The more and more that you are staying low-key, and then you have something like, let's say, YouTube, or a platform where you are creative, or where you are doing, let's say, your work, your spiritual work, your path that you're on, wherever you're doing this, sure, that can be on a public forum, that can be out there, but like I said, you know, be low-key, move like you know you should move, and that's for each person to know for themselves how they should. When it comes to physically low-key, don't be out here just showing everything that you got going for you, because you have to know for yourself what you have and carry that with you everywhere you go. So don't be, sharing overly what's going on, where things are, and personal things when it comes to physically, because that's stuff that you should have close to you, and that's stuff that should be important to you, and stuff that you shouldn't want other people talking about. Of course, doing this is going to allow for, when stuff like this does happen, you are able to have a way stronger ability, because the place that you are when it comes to physically is detached from these so-called negative actions, negative events, negative scenarios, or people, places, or things that you've been involved with in the past. And so let's say you have an interaction and experience with them now. There's no opposition there on your side, because you're just doing you. You're staying in your lane regardless. You're not out here being all up in everyone's business, forcing people to be aware of you and forcing people to listen to what you have to say no matter what, or that you're out here and you have to do what I say no matter what. You must listen to me or what I say no matter what. And also, let's say you're, like I said, sharing way too much information. The more that you do that, the more, you almost lose credibility, because you should let your work show for you. And like I said, you'll be protected from all of those, situations that you come into when it comes to physically. It'll allow you to move more physically low-key. You should be low-key about, where you are. Be low-key about what you do and let it show for itself, because you don't need to, like I said, go around putting your business everywhere out there for people to just know. And of course, there's times, like I've said, where it's good to be high-key. There's times when you need to express things, but just know how to move when it comes to that, and know the balance of that when it comes to physically moving, and especially when it comes to being around other people. And in the world that we are in today, you need to know when the right time is to move physically. When should I physically even act like I'm even aware of one person's existence? If this person is a detrimental or negative entity towards you, then why not? I see it fit that you make no awareness or give no attention towards that entity's existence, because they're not helping you in any way, shape, or form. But yet, through all those experiences, we're able to see those who are in the right space that we are also in when it comes to physically. So not just all staying low-key, oh, no one should know what you're doing or anything like that. No, that's not necessarily true. Those ones that support you are going to support you, and they can be aware of what you do no matter what, because they're going to have your back no matter what. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to leave you out to dry. They're not going to leave you there to burn out. They're not going to leave you there to dissolve. They're not going to leave you there to, let's say, decompress. I'm really trying to think of decompress, and or they're not going to leave you there to suffocate. There we go. These people are going to have your back no matter what, and you can move however you want to move around them. And chances are these people have their own ways of how they move low-key and how they are in the position that they're in when it comes to physically. So there you go, you two, or you three, you four, however many of y'all have views of you. Alright, however many, doesn't matter the number, but the fact is, you can come together and physically move in a way that is, you know, high key and has very strong, let's say, effects when those people and those energies come together, and you're able to do a lot. You're able to influence a lot and change the way of the world. That's in a way when it comes to high key. And then in that scheme, you're also going to have a lot of things that are moving low key, and understanding how you move low key and how you just move in general when it comes to physically. And therefore, we are all going towards a better place, a better space when it comes to physically. So yeah, like I said, those who will support you and have your back no matter what will have your back no matter what. And that's just all about being real. It's not about, they did me wrong before, or physically they caused something before, they did something when it comes to physically. Not just about that. You can let that go, but let it be a lesson to learn, like, this is how I can move forward when it comes to the way that I'm acting out in the physical experiences and situations that are going to play from this point on. Emotionally, stay low key, because you don't want everyone to know, oh, this is how this person is emotionally, this is how this person feels on a constant basis. Of course, everyone feels different ways at different times, so that's going to be a way that you feel low key, that you stay low key when it comes to the way that you feel, is not necessarily expressing, oh, you know, that made me feel really bad, or don't say that, you made me feel bad, or that makes me sad, or, you know, whatever your emotional reaction might be to that. Rather, take that emotional reaction and start to understand that emotional reaction, and learn, like, okay, why did I feel that way when this person said that? Or why did this situation have me feeling this way? Or why did this person have me feel this certain type of way? And really learn about that feeling and dissect it, and be able to understand and overstand and understand that that could have been a projection, a self-projection from that other person, that they are lacking something when it comes to emotionally. So now they have to make you feel that way, so that they even feel that you're on the same, you know, level as them, or on the same playing field. So if they see that you have something that they lack, and they're now self-projecting negativity onto you, you're going to feel that, and you're going to sense that when it comes to emotionally. So don't just make it be aware, like, dude, why would you even say that? You're like trying to play with my emotions, or you're trying to play with me right now, or like you're not okay with me being in an emotional state of feeling good. Like, so that comes into, like, you can always be happy. Like, there's no limitations to that at all when it comes to how happy you can be, or how much joy you can experience, or how much excitement you can have at any given time. But that's not that. It is true that there are people that will play on that. There are people that don't want to see you necessarily in that, because those people can't reach that on their own. So they'll have to go out of their way to, let's say, do things to, in their mind, negatively affect you when it comes to emotionally. And you're just gonna, even if it doesn't, you know, eventually when you become so aware and so able to move the right way when it comes to emotionally, it's not gonna have that effect on you anymore. In fact, you're only gonna feel that emotional, like, motive to stay protected no matter what, because you feel that opposition, and you'll realize, like, okay, I'm in an interaction right now. I have to be the highest version of myself, regardless of maybe how I felt from time to time, or how I feel out of the situation. There's gonna be times where you have to move low key about that, and not let it be known that you feel a certain type of way, because those people are possibly already looking for that reaction from you. And the better that you do at not giving up that fact that you feel that way, the better you take back your power and you take back your emotional, let's say, your own way of feeling about things, and your emotional, let's say, right to feel that way and to have that reaction and to have that perspective. And in that case, you are, like I said, staying protected through that actions and through those experiences that you're dealing with. So like I said, just know how to move about, know what emotions to express and what emotions to not express. And like I said, there are the right times to be high key when it comes to emotionally, because you can give off an emotional reaction and that will have an effect on the scenario, because people will start to think a certain type of way based upon your reaction. So knowing that and having the knowledge of what I said before, of not reacting or of being low-key, emotionally be high-key in a way of being low-key, just trying to give that energy or put that energy there or that emotional reaction, and to see, hey, will someone pick up on this? If someone does pick up on this, I want to see, how is that going to change the scenario? How is that going to affect how things go when it comes to moving forward? So always just be aware of that. Always be aware of the abilities that you have, because there's times when it's the right thing to do, and there's times when to be low-key, and there's times when it's time to be high-key. In other words, you could say, there's other allegories for it. Let's say, like, you can say there's times to be on angel time, which means doing something in an angelic perspective. And then there's also times in the reverse of that, of being on demon time. So doing things in the, let's say, demonic perspective of things. So basically I can relate it to that in ways. And so spiritually, why would you want to stay low-key? And you want to stay low-key spiritually because even though you're spiritually protected no matter what, because you are a spirit experiencing your experiences in your body, in the world that we are in the body that we are existing in. So you know that spiritually we all have the let's say spirit to all have our own energy, all have our own spiritual signature or energetic signature in the life. And that is something that is your own property. It's something that is specifically it's specific to your spirit. And that is not for sale. There's a phrase that came out in this movie, Sound of Freedom, that is a great phrase, and it's God's children are not for sale. And that's right. God's children's energy, spiritual energy, God's children's spiritual systems are not for sale, and they're not for taking. So low key when it comes to spiritually is being able to move around and be in a spiritual plane of existence that is away from all demons, that is in your own heaven that you put for yourself. And that piece, or that whole part, let's say, if you've gotten to that space when it comes spiritually, and a lot of times I'm sure we'll always be reaching for that space of wholeness when it comes to spiritually, because I assume that's what we are trying to experience when we are spirits coming into a body, is trying to experience wholeness once again. And so we're trying to experience that when it comes to spiritually. We have to have that spiritual awareness and spiritual knowledge and power to have that be our own, and not have anyone be able to influence that, not have anyone be able to copy or steal our own spiritual systems. Of course, those who are part of your spiritual group, your spiritual reciprocants, or let's say your soul group, your soul tribe, those that you relate to and are in the right space of when it comes to, and similar space of when it comes to spiritually, then you will share spiritual systems. But when it comes to the world that we are in today and moving around, where a lot of us that are spiritual or that are in specific groups and whatnot are not physically around each other, we still spiritually are protected, mentally, physically, and emotionally protected, and protecting each other on a constant basis. But regardless of that, when we're moving around solo, or we're moving around with other people that we are connected with our acquaintances and our partners and our team members, we have to stay protected. And when it comes to that, we have to know, okay, who is on demon time when it comes to spiritually? Who is on angel time when it comes to spiritually? And being able to see that and see the perspective, we don't just hate on those people who are on that high key time or on that time, and we can't hate on the people that are on that low key time at all. We just have to see it for, okay, what is our mission? Where are the parts that we are high key? Where are the parts that we are low key? And where are the parts that we have to do these certain things in these specific ways in order to get the mission done? But we're always going to have our spiritual senses about us. We're always going to have that spiritual intelligent sense of knowing the right thing for us, and knowing through just existing as spirits. And but like I said, that's why it's important to spiritually be low key. That's why it's important to stay spiritually protected, because when you are in a different space or experiencing something different when it comes to mentally, or you're in a different state of mind when it comes to mentally, or let's say a different physical space, or experiencing things in your surroundings that you're not used to, or emotionally you're dealing with opposition when it comes to emotionally, you're actually being put in a position where you've never felt this way before, or you feel like as if you're being spiritually attacked and you're spiritually, let's say, having energetic attacks or spiritual attacks aimed at you. When you are in these situations and scenarios, just knowing that spiritually you're protected, because those that you're connected with, it's creating a collective consciousness and a collective effect on the universe and on the world, and using the universe as a way to connect and create a protection against all those things that are occurring. Protection against, like I said, you're dealing with any of those things, you'll know that you're spiritually protected, regardless of what it is, regardless of what's happening. And so yeah, spiritually knowing that you have the right spiritual individuals that you are related with and that you are in agreement with, you need to make sure that you have their back as well as they have your back, regardless, so that you can continue on putting in that work and continue on staying in your power and staying protected regardless of what happens and regardless of what's being thrown your way. All that shit will bounce off you spiritually. None of that's going to have an effect on you once you put on that armor of God, because it's the real deal. It's the real deal Holyfield. So yeah, if you guys made it this far in the video and enjoyed the video, thumb the video and like the video, comment down below and ask a question, make a statement, do anything to interact. But yeah, that's it for the 1 year and 25-day check-in with no nicotine. And we talked about why one should be low-key. And I think we got into a lot of deep concepts and a lot of deep knowledge and wisdom that we just uncovered through basically what I've experienced myself and what I know that other people have experienced as well, and what other people and what we all, and myself included, are going to need to experience when it comes to moving on through the future events and the oncoming and changes that are always occurring. So we got this. We're gonna stay strong and stay spiritually protected, emotionally protected, mentally protected, and emotionally protected. And we're all gonna stay on our path of becoming the best versions of ourselves. That's it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.